What do you get when you combine an old school adventure game with up to 4 players co-op, blended into a roguelike with procedurally generated dungeons, bosses, puzzles, class systems, skill trees, fishing, farming. Then you add a massive scoop full of bugs and glitches, along with a fancy side of unfinished. Well, if you didn't know the answer, let me fill you in. It's Rogue Heroes Ruins of Tasos. It's a game that from the start I knew I would love. It's a game that I jumped into, fully embracing what it was. It's right up my alley. It's a co-op adventure nostalgia trip. Play with multiple friends, run around some dungeons, do some puzzles. I mean, what's not to love? It looks like an absolute whale of a time. And like every other sprite-based hero story, you jump out of bed, filled with energy, ready to take on all manner of creatures and puzzles. So I loaded up, I got some friends, we ran around, we killed some monsters, and it was a blast to roll around, attack some enemies, do some dashes, do some slashes. The controls are tight, the world is beautiful, the art style is simplistic, but it just all works. It's not long before you find the first dungeon, and in there is where you get the meat of the game. You kill some enemies, you do some puzzles, you get some gems, and eventually you will die. It is a roguelike. The whole game is all about dying. I'll show you how to do it. And you will die a lot. You will die here, you'll die there, you'll die a little bit here. But each time you'll keep the gems that you've earned, you go back to your town, you upgrade your character, and then each pass through the dungeon gets a little bit easier, and then you fight the boss. Boom. It's amazing. I pretty much loved it from the start. But it wasn't all sunshine and daisies. Bugs, soft locks, they happen all the time from the moment I started the game. I enjoyed the game, I loved it, but it was quite glaringly obvious this game was unfinished and it was very buggy. Getting stuck in a dungeon only to have to restart and lose all the gems is a pain I wish I had not felt, but I did, a lot. You'll find multiple glitches that happen when you play co-op. I cleared out this area here, but it was still blocked for the other people playing the game with me. This would happen more often than not. Trees, bushes, monsters won't appear for other people, but they'll be there on my screen. What makes this really frustrating is how much potential this game has. I love the combat, running around, sword slashing, dodging, sprinting, popping your abilities. It's fun. It's a fun time to play with some friends and jump around some dungeons or run around the massive overworld and just fight some enemies. It's amazing. And then you just constantly run into these little niggles and you can't do anything other than restart, and all the joy is lost, and it drains you every single time. I get a little bit more drained. Being an RPG with multiple classes sounds really fun, but each class lacks any real difference. All have the same sword, all have the bow, all have the magic. The only real difference here is their dodge ability. Some seem to be a lot more useful than others, and apart from the dodge ability, there's a few minor stat changes for each class, but nothing really noticeable. So the world seems massive and sprawling at first glance. It seems like there's 1,000,001 pathways to go and secrets hidden all over the place. But you'll find that with most secrets, there's no real reward at the end of them. You'll see this little river that you can't swim down until you upgrade your stamina. You upgrade your stamina, you come back, you swim down, you find a cave, you expect something amazing to be in there. And all there is some power sphere, which doesn't do anything. They don't affect the game. But every single cave has one. There's no secrets. There's nothing to find. There's no point in having a big massive world to explore if there's nothing to find within the world. It's again more wasted opportunities, which makes me really sad. I'm sad. Once you've finally completed the main quest line, which should take around 8 hours depending on how many bugs and crashes you've had along the way. But for all of its faults, I still love my time exploring Tasos. I didn't mind getting lost as long as I was able to find my way around in the end. I had a lot of fun, and if I just turned my game off right after I seen the credits like a normal person, I would have gave this game a 6 out of 10. Hopefully some patches will fix it in the future. But, massive but here. You'll find that even after the credits have rolled, there seems to be a lot left to do on the map. But don't believe the lies. I spent hours of my life running around thinking I'd missed something, that maybe if I got something I could go here. This guy gave me a key for this dungeon, but I can't get in for some reason. I was trying to figure out what I had to do at the mines, but I couldn't find anything. Over here on the map seems to be some kind of dungeon that I can't access, and I still had to find the 3 legendary fish for the final class. And the tailor woman that deals with all the classes tells me if I find all the classes, she will give me a reward. Maybe this is what I needed. Maybe I needed to get that reward and other parts of the map would start opening up. So that's it. 5 hours passed. I'd walked over the whole map 30 times or more. I was hoping to find something that I missed. Some secret passageway. Some item that allowed me to break a rock to get into a certain area. But no, I couldn't find anything. My last hope was to find this final fish. To get the final thread for the final class. So the tailor can give me my final reward. I wish this story had an happy ending. I really do. I get the fish. I get the thread. But I get no reward. So it turns out it's all just unfinished assets and potentially DLC for the future. So if you're watching this and you plan on getting the game, just wait until they finish these areas, because then you get a fully finished game and you don't have to deal with the pain that I did. And I really enjoyed this game. And then I didn't. And then they made the game cheaper after I bought it. 2 out of 10.